Hello, I'm Nikki Cottom, and perhaps you've seen some of my other videos, perhaps you've subscribed to my channel. Today I wanted to really dumb things down for those of you who either know somebody or maybe you yourself are wondering, do I have what it takes to dive into essential oils? Because essential oils, a lot of times people think, are they a fad that's coming and going? Is there something worth investing there? Are you a candidate? Do you think that essential oils may work for you? Or are you just still really on the fence about, they may work for me, they may not, but I don't know that I want to invest in that. And that's okay, right? That's okay because we all start at that point. All right, so first of all, I have to say, essential oils, they are not a cure-all, all right? Essential oils work for a lot of people, but essential oils aren't the one-hit wonder that's going to solve all the problems in your life, all right? There have been problems that 100% I have solved by using essential oils. There are other problems that I've had in my health and my family's wellness that we've needed to alter our diet for, and other things that I have needed to incorporate exercise, that I've needed to incorporate self-care in other areas, not just essential oils. What works for 90% of the population may not work for 10%, and that's okay. The cool thing about it is, if you try one essential oil and it doesn't quite do the trick, you can always put on another essential oil without having to wait like 2 hours or 4 hours like a medication. If something doesn't work in a medication, you have to wait for all of the stuff to wear off before you take another painkiller or whatever, right? So with essential oils, you can layer them. You can use 5 essential oils at the same time. You can, you can make your own blends. You can figure out what works for you. So that's very empowering for me, because if I have a kid who is struggling with a fever or struggling with an infection or something like that, I may try one and it didn't quite cut it like I thought. So I can try something else and I can try something else. It's not like with ibuprofen and Tylenol. If you try one thing, you have to wait. So anyway, I really do like that about essential oils. But like I said, the thing about essential oils is you kind of have to learn what works for you. So getting into essential oils, you are going to need to really be aware of what works for you and what doesn't. You're going to need to experiment. And for me, that's the best part. For some people, that takes a lot of effort, right? Because when we have to experiment to see what works for us, it does involve time. It involves money. It involves trying new things. It involves maybe going out and buying something you didn't have because what you had in your home you thought would work and you need to buy something else. So those are things that you need to be aware of. And I love the experimental phase. When I first started using essential oils, I kept a log. It was just a printer paper that I drew lines on because I was lazy. And I just wrote, this is my symptom. So I had columns. I said, this is my symptom. This is what oil I used. This is how long I used it for, or how often. And then did it provide the results that I wanted? And I kept a log, and I still have that log, and it's really cool. Every time I pull it out, I'm like, oh, this was so cute. But that's what worked for me. I kept a log, and the first thing that was there was I was, struggling with a UTI, okay? And that was my very first major thing using essential oils for, because I was using them for mood and for feeling better and for irritations on the skin, maybe some rashes and stuff. And then I got a UTI, and I have a long backstory behind this, but I had a bad reaction to medications for a UTI in the past, and I didn't want those side effects from the medications. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go all in, and I am going to beat this with essential oils. And for me, that was huge. Now, looking back, I'm like, of course, essential oils can help with that. But in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to really, put them up to the test. And so I kept in that log a record of the oils I used, of how long I used them, and all of that. And it took about 2 weeks to fully flush it out of my body. But I will tell you what, as soon as that UTI was gone and all the symptoms were gone, it was incredible because I felt more energy, had more strength. My immune system was even better than it had ever been in as long as I can remember in my entire life. And that doesn't happen after taking medications. You don't have an amazing fortified immune system after taking antibiotics for 2 weeks, right? Like, you're kind of at ground zero. So this was a really big thing for me. And I felt great. My gut felt better than it had. I realized how constipated I had been in the past, and now I wasn't dealing with those issues anymore. And it was all from just targeting that illness that I had. So anyway, so that's a little bit about my story, and you have to invest the time. And one other thing you have to invest in is faith. Now, we all know about the placebo effect, right? I studied psychology in college. It's something I'm very familiar with. Okay, so the placebo effect, we all know, is all up to the brain. Our brain gets to decide whether something is going to work or not. All right, when a doctor gives us a medication, we have faith that that medication is going to work for us, right? If we don't trust the doctor or we don't trust the medication, chances are that's not going to work very well for us. And then we're going to wonder what went wrong. And then the doctor may try something else, and we may be skeptical, and it may or may not work for us, all right? With essential oils, it's the same thing. If we go into essential oils thinking, yeah, this is a bunch of snake oil hogwash, like some of my family members still call it. If you go in with that attitude, very likely you will not have the result that you are looking for. You're going to give up really soon. You're going to not even give it a shot. If one oil doesn't work for you, say, yep, oils don't work for me, right? So you have to go into your essential oil experience with faith that it could work for you. And if you don't have that faith yet, at least have hope, right? Because that's the starting. You can have hope without having faith, and that's okay. Hope is great. So if you go into it saying, I really hope this works for me. I don't have any evidence personally yet, but I'm hopeful that it does. If you're hopeful, you will put forth the effort to give it a good go around. All right? If you go into it thinking this may work, may not work, I'm skeptical, and then you try it for a little bit and give up, well, that's not really giving it a good shot. Now, there are essential oils that most people have an instant benefit from. One of the most common is Deep Blue, the essential oil blend, and the rub. You can rub it right on sore muscles, and it's incredibly soothing. So that's one that a lot of people instantly fall in love with and know it works. And Digest-Zen is another one that you could rub on your tummy, and you can get instant relief in the tummy. So if you're dealing with any inflammation there, irritation in the gut, and you rub it on, you may experience incredible instant relief. Also with minor burns and whatnot, skin irritations, you could just put a little bit of lavender on if there's, a little burn or something like that, and lavender can really help soothe the skin. So a lot of us, we try them out and we can have a really good experience right off the bat. And then there are other things, like with my UTI. If I had just, said, I'm just going to see what I can do. I'm just going to rub some On Guard on my belly for once a day or twice a day for whatever, I don't really think it would have really gotten me to the point that my body was in total control of my immune system. So you really have to be willing to use more than one oil at a time. Be on top of it. I was using essential oils in capsules, just putting a few drops of my select essential oils in capsules and then ingesting those every couple hours all day long. And so it required a lot more work than just taking an antibiotic twice a day. But in the end, the fact that my immune system was so much stronger than it had ever been, and my gut was so much stronger, and I felt so much better, and a lot of my mood swings were gone just because my gut was healthier, my brain was healthier. And I was like, I've never felt this way after taking any medications. So, does that make sense? You're going to need to invest a little bit more time, a little bit more persistence in using them to give them an honest go around. Now, for some of you, you may be thinking, no way, I'll just do the medication route and that's good with me. And if that's your choice, more power to you. I specifically am so overjoyed that I have these solutions because I've had horrible side effects to medications. And before essential oils, I didn't know that there was anything else I could do for my health if I got sick. It was more just like, try not to get sick, try not to get sick, try not to get sick, because then I don't have to go to the doctor and worry about medications and side effects. That was my mentality. I've avoided medications and I feel good. I am in control of how I feel. And that is a beauty that essential oils have brought into my life that I don't know where in the world I would be right now, but I definitely wouldn't be this healthy and happy. So it's totally up to you. I will not think you're a horrible person if you choose the medication route. I just kind of want to give you a little insight onto what it looks like with you trying out essential oils.